So in front of me, I've got two highly anticipated machines to come out from Stihl in 2025. I've got the brand new HSA 140R and the HSA 150T, two very similar machines, but that work a little bit differently. Now in this video, we're going to look at the features and specs of each machine, we're going to cut varying types of hedges, and we're going to do a strip down of the gearboxes, because there's something a little bit different that I need to show you. Now many of you will be familiar with the HS82 and HS87, very popular and powerful petrol hedge cutters from Stihl. Now the two battery products I have here today are meant to be comparable in power and performance to the petrol models. And in today's video, we're going to be seeing if actually that's the case. Now Stihl have supplied us with a brand new AP200S battery, which is the lightest battery they now produce in the AP range. So we're going to slot that in like so. Now it's particularly important to have a well balanced and nice lightweight battery so you don't feel tired when using a handheld product. And actually this complements the power really nicely. Now this is the trimmer version, so it's designed to have a quick blade speed, and it's designed for sort of more your ornamental shrubs, trees and bushes to give that real fine cut. So it could be yew, privet, leylandi like it is behind us, where you want that real nice close cut and a nice fine finish, whereas a rough cut machine like the HSA 140R is designed more for your annual growth, so thicker material that potentially is not going to get into the blade gap of this machine. So I think we ought to see what sort of finish we can actually achieve. The Stihl HSA 150T delivers power on par with the popular HS87 petrol model. The 150 comes in 30-inch or 40-inch trimmer versions with a 30mm blade gap, or a 30-inch rough cut model with a 38mm gap, weighing between 4.3 and 4.7 kilos depending on the blade setup. Standard features include a tip protector and, on single blade trimmers, a debris catcher plate. 3 adjustable blade speeds let you match the performance to the task. The rough cut versions offer speeds of 2,800, 3,000 and up to 3,200 RPM. The trimmer versions provide higher blade speeds of 3,900, 4,500 and 5,000 RPM. Right, so that was on blade speed 1. I'm going to crank it up to blade speed 3 now and get it on its fastest speed to sort of knock off those little bits that may be sticking out and give that real nice close shave, shall we say. So literally just push it up on that button there to get up to blade speed 3. But yeah, it's given a pretty good finish though, isn't it? So this is blade speed 1, this is 2, this is 3. Both models are smart, connected to a compatible and IPX4 weather resistant. With an AP200S battery, expect up to 150 minutes of runtime on rough cut models and 140 minutes on trimmers. This can be extended with larger batteries, but will increase the overall weight of the machine. That is one tidy job. Now being able to alter that blade speed has made a big difference, especially given that real fine crisp cut. And obviously the blade capture as well. When you're cutting sort of your finer shrubs and bushes, what it's doing is directing the clippings away from the shrub or the bush so they're not sat on top. So if you're doing the top of one, for example, all the debris is going to sit in there and you can basically chuck it off to the side, so you're not going to have all that brown sort of material that's going to rot away on the top of your hedge. But yeah, really nice to use. And the variable speed trigger works well as well, because it means if you're on your top speed and then obviously you want it, maybe you want a slower speed, you can just sort of feather the throttle, which is really good as well. But let's show you a little bit more about what's going on inside of here. Because Stihl have built in a particularly handy feature within their gearbox. They have got a planetary gear setup. But what does that actually mean? Let's take the cover off and have a look inside. So let's swap over to the cleaner HSA 140 and undo the 6 Torx bits. What have we got in here? Oh, we've got a gasket. Let's take the gasket off. Got another bit. All right, take the cam out. As you can see, on the cam, you've got a gear like that. And then I suppose I need to try and take out that spacer. And take the last Torx screw out. It's all pretty well supported in there, there's no getting away from that. And then our blade setup should just come off like so, which means we can then gain access into here. That's the first time I've actually taken something like this apart. I've obviously done hedge cutters in the past, but how does this come out of here? I think we need a smaller Torx bit. Right, so I'm taking things apart that I don't actually know how it comes apart. I'm just undoing stuff, but hopefully we'll have a look underneath here and we'll see what's going on. Oh, it's another cover. I tell you what, there is some metal in here and we can't actually remove it because it is attached to the motor up above. So I've taken the motor housing off of the actual machine, and as you can see, your planetary gearbox is actually situated underneath your motor. Now there is a substantial amount of metalwork, and if you can see here, if I turn that, you can hear the gears actually moving. So you've got like a drive gear initially from your motor, presumably, and then just like a differential, you'll have gears situated underneath this plate. That then obviously gives you more support, more torque, and more power being transferred to that motor to your blades. And also having that sort of setup as well will get you from your initial sort of triggering, throttling up to top blade speed very, very quickly. So you're going to get that responsiveness from your trigger and your motor very, very quickly. It's a very neat design, and I am going to flash the parts diagram up on the screen so you can actually see the assembly for yourself. But yeah, crux of it is a lot of metalwork in there, a slightly different design to what you'd find on a lot of other hedge trimmers where you just normally have a drive shaft onto a gear running 2 cams. So yeah, a lot more going on, but heavier duty. And obviously with the motor cover off, as you can see, you can get into your air filters, you can clean out your motor assembly really nicely. And then the bottom of the casing itself, you've got that big greasing point on there, which you can undo with a Torx bit. Gear case itself, nice and substantial, nice lot of aluminium in there. And obviously you've got your blade supports as well. So yeah, all in all, a very well built bit of kit. So I'm going to now chuck this back together, hope it runs and I get it back together right, and we'll go and find some bigger material to put this machine through. And the Hedge we have here has got varying material in it. So we've got some sycamore, we've got some ash, we've got obviously ferns, nettles, we've even got some oak and some thorn as well. So this machine is going to be ideally suited for this, because I cut this back in the winter down fairly low. Sycamore, as we all know, grows fairly violently, and some of it is about 1 inch thick. So this is going to be an ideal test for it to really see what these rough cut blades can do. So I swapped my battery in from my other hedge cutter, the HSA 150T, to try it in the rough cut mode. Let's fire it up and give it a go.
The HSA 140 matches the performance of the Pro HS82 and is available in 24 or 30 inch trimmer or rough cut versions, weighing between 4.2 and 4.7 kilos depending on the blade option. It features a rear twist handle for comfort and a standard blade protection comb. A built-in energy recovery system recharges the battery when the throttle is released, and Stihl's constant power tech ensures full performance right up until the battery runs out.
Right, so if you come across something that's a little bit thicker and you get your blades jammed, now I'm just going to reenact this scenario. So your blades are stuck in there. Now, I'm going to try and cut it. My blades are now jammed. So if I'm stuck in there, what I can do is blip the throttle, and what it does is it reverses the drive of the hedge cutter. See that backing out function? Allows you to basically pull your blades out. So it's reversing the gear if it knows it's stuck. Now, back in our days of selling garden machinery, we used to keep rough cut Stihl hedge cutters in stock, and they were probably the most popular hedge cutters that we supplied because they are fairly universal. You can do a pretty fine finish with them, and obviously you can do all the rough cutting. Now, this one will go down to 2,800 RPM on its slowest blade speed, whereas the trimmer version is 3,900 RPM. So, you know, there's 1100 RPM difference between the two. But the big question is, will this actually cope with some rougher material? So if you're a landscape gardener or someone like that that generally uses a trimmer to do real fine work, and then you come across thicker stuff, will it actually cope with it? So I think now we'll put the battery back in this one and finish off the rest of the Hedge and actually see what it can do. So as you can see, the difference between the two blades. So we got the rough cut version here with a 38mm tooth spacing and the trimmer version with a 30mm tooth spacing. But the big question is, can this do what this can do in larger material? Right, so using the trimmer on the thicker stuff, you can certainly notice a difference. This thing cut through like butter. Even the thick stuff, there was no stopping it. Whereas this, it did it, but it didn't process the material quite as quick. So you felt like you were probably just forcing it a little bit more. But it coped with it. It definitely done the job. And I would say, you know, for someone that is doing ornamental shrubs and bushes all day long, then that is definitely the kiddie to go for, because you've obviously got that catcher plate on the side, so you're clearing all that material. It's giving you a nice fine cut. But for general garden maintenance work, the rough cutter is definitely the way forward. The power in that is phenomenal. Now, would I pick this up over the HS82? Yes, I would. There is very little vibration on this, which means it makes it easier to control as well. And being so lightweight, you know, we're cutting quite a high hedge here. There is stuff that I've missed at the top, so I'm probably gonna have to get me long reach Stihl hedge cutter out now. But because they are that much lighter, it really does mean that you can chuck your hedge cutter up high. You know, you're gonna reach up there more than you are a Petrol. You're gonna be able to hold it up there for longer. And I think that is a real benefit. It is lightweight, there's no emissions, very low vibration, and it's just plenty of power. I love it, I really do. Now, one thing I did forget to mention and look at is actually the battery power. So let's have a look and see what the battery's got left. We've got 50% charge left in the battery. Now, we must have done a good hour and a quarter, hour and 20 minutes runtime. So that's pretty impressive. So if this battery can give you a good 2.5 hours runtime, it means one battery could do you a day's work, because you could charge this up over your lunch break within an hour. You've got two batteries then, in theory, two battery charges to do your day's work. So that is the brand new HSA 150 and HSA 140 to come out in the Stihl AP range. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe and ding that notification bell so you don't miss out any future content. We've got loads more Stihl videos and I've linked one at the end of this one, so hopefully you'll enjoy that and you might get a chance to watch it. We're Machinery Nation and we bring you product videos every week all about tools and machinery. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one and we'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!